Hello miners, Rusty coming at you. I wanted to show off a couple of collections I have acquired here. So we're going to take a look at not all, but my Ganzo collection. So let me get these out here. So for starters, what we had in this row and this row, the F740. I believe this one's the, help me out here, G741. What else? The G710. This is the 739. 739. 739. 704. And did that one left-handed. Unnumbered. Thank goodness I do videos on these things. 625. We have the ever popular 759 and a about cut my finger. 720. That was in the outside pocket of this bag. On this side, G727M, G727, no M, this is the S. That's the small rat. Oh, we have the, I can't keep track. This is a new one to my collection. 765. 7531, 7531. S, or maybe it's an M. They're kind of hard sometimes to remember. We're going to sort these though here in a second towards the end of the video by sizes and just take a little bit closer peek. Let me now take you over to the other pockets. Okay, and in these other pockets we have the 41, the Ganzo FH41, or my Frankenstein knife. That would make this the wait, this is a 51. I think this is a 61. So I guess in order, I'm not sure. We'll get them straightened out. I think this is the 51. One of these is the 61, 41, 51, 61, 71. That's what we got. And then over here, I need some help here. I should have been a little bit more prepared for you guys. I used to know these. 732, that makes this. 734, 729, and a D727, which is the D2 version. And here's a 722. All right, I'm going to sort these. Just take a quick little look at each of them. These, by the way, are my cold steel knives. Bush Ranger, double steel, a double safe hunter, and one from Freedom Frog. Thanks, Frog. The cold steel Fin Wolf. All right. Okay, the first group we're going to set our eyes on are going to be these, what I'm going to call these Benchmade Spinoffs. All right, so we'll take a peek at each of these. Some people say this one, they're giving it credit to the Benchmade Osborne. Take a peek at what we're seeing there. It does have really nice, let me jack this up a little bit. G10, pretty decent there. I'm just really going to show off the, what are we going to call this? The blade shape and the detent, the action on these. I have videos out for each one of these. I'm kind of showing you my favorite in order of how they come. This one's harder to find. This one's more expensive. It's a 739. I believe the 2P. It's called a P because of the, I forget what they did to the handle. but this is the way the handle is shaped. They got those ribs in there. It's accused of being a Benchmade knockoff. I don't see the Griptilian in this. I do see the Griptilian in the handle shape. Pretty decent action. And take a peek. It's more of a, almost, trying to think of what those are. The Kershaw Blackout blade shape. All right, moving on. This would be inspired by the Benchmade Snotty. Snotty's a knife designer. He's out of Florida, I want to say. He's like an industrial engineer with less is more type of attitude, but this is definitely more. I told you guys this was the G, and in reality, this one's the D. That's in D2 steel. But I did pick up two, what do you want to call them? G. So I have two of these in 440C, and I do carry, one is a user, and I do like it. I don't like, well, I don't like the pocket clip per se, and the ergos are not the best, but who can complain about this blade shape and this action? Gotta love that, gotta love that. Finally, in Benchmade, the G710, kind of a knockoff on the Benchmade 950 or the Rift. And we have a great job of this G10 on here, 440C, and you guys saw the video on this recently. Love the blade shape on this, and it's a monster. And the action, show that off. Boom. Okay. All right, let me line up my other one. All right, you guys should have an idea of who Gonzo is paying homage to on this one. This looks like a Spyderco Stretch, maybe the Stretch XL. I did dye the handles on this. This one came in orange, 440C, relatively fidget friendly, if you will, and very interesting and useful blade, good ergos. So I have ranked these again in order of my favorites, and this one's going to be hard to find, and I'm probably not going to carry it. But this one I have carried. This one I do like. Gonzo, we said it earlier in the video, 732, basically like an Endura without the lockback. It's got a liner lock, which you can see is locked up nicely, and kind of this old divoted handle shape. So like that, nice flat blade, 440s. I did sharpen this one on my own, and takes a nice edge, holds a pretty decent amount of time. Brings us to the next one, the G729. I should have put this in. This would be a Spyderco Para 2 inspiration. G10 handles. See if we got any milling. And, you know, guys, get these while you can. I swear they're going to be sought after someday. So we'll set this aside, and then I picked up two of these. I actually bought three. I gave one away. It's a 759, and it is, someone said it's a bird. Spyderco's bird, maybe the meadow lark. And I agree, it's more that than in my video I compare it to the Delica. But it's a great, great pocket knife. Just a great user knife and very affordable. Fantastic, fantastic value. Okay, let's line up the next one. No doubt what we're looking at here. This is Ontario Rat homage. Have compared these to the Rat. They are, this one is just a touch bit smaller than the large, and it's in between the large Rat and the small Rat. And this one is very, very competitive with the small Rat, And this is the, I want to say the G727S. Okay, and this is a D2 steel, green, and then of course these two are the same minus the steels, 440 and camel, and I like that camel handle. You can dye those and they turn out cool. You dye them red and we get, you know, just different, you get red camo, you can get blue camo. So I like that, but I'm going to keep them the way they are. And we're going to move on to the next knives. Oh, Ontario Rats, I have been seeing new ones. I've been seeing pre-order for a green S35 VN Blade HQ. So we know Ontario sold to Blue Creek Knives, and apparently they're going to continue on with the rats. That's my assumption, if you can order a new rat. If not, these are super alternative. In fact, 20-something bucks, 21, 22 bucks, when a rat's costing you 40. How do I know that? I've been picking up rats just so I had the originals, kind of whatever left over. Moving on. Okay, Rusty, what do you got here? Who's this a copy of? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you look hard enough, maybe, and take a peek at a ProTech Lurch. And I don't know if it's a Lurch 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Seems like they made a ton of Lurches, but you're going to see very similar knife here. And so is it possible Ganzo is paying homage? I'm calling that, instead of saying copying, to ProTech. Axis lock, those ProTechs are automatics. And believe it or not, I saw one of these, not this model number, but a Ganzo knife this shape and everything that is an automatic. They wanted $100 for it when it's not new, but it's going to be a hard to find and a rare one. So we got that is, I told you, 753, and they made a 3.3 and a 3.1, and this is the same knife, only, I don't know if you guys can see that, M. So funny, on this one, this is the S, and this one's the M. And on this one, so the big one's the M, and that's S. This is the M, and that's regular, and it's big. So that's what those are looking like. Okay, we're into some of the last of the classic knives. I'll show you the more modern ones in just a second. But these again are in order of my preference. And this one I picked up. I didn't even, it was just on Amazon, saw it one day. As I said, it's an early model. It's a 625. It only advertises as 440. Doesn't even say C on it. But it's kind of big. It was a giveaway knife. I gave one of these or two of these away. They do a little thing with this is a fiberglass handle. So look for the video on that. This is the G722. And gee whiz, this is a great alternative. This is a good, strong, stout, I would call it a work knife. That feels pretty decent in the hand. It's relatively slender this way. And if we compare it to, very comparable to this one, this is your axis lock. It's a little bit thicker. And that one they maybe borrow from Lion Steel SRM1, SR1. Is that Lion Steel or Real Steel, Steel Will? I don't know. This one, I don't know if it's copying anybody, but I'll tell you what, this knife just never got the attention it deserves. It's a bit dorky looking, but that's a very useful blade. I did sharpen this one. It's not bad for ergos. I don't like the pocket clip where it goes. What is that? 741. But good size, not too shabby on the weight. And then here's one that in America, it might have a cult following, but from what I understand, this one sells really well around the world. And that's the 740. and you are looking at a monster style. I mean, if you got big hands, this thing's going to be the one for you. And nice tall flat grind blade, and we'll do a little flyby overview of those. One last one. Thanks for sticking with me so far. Okay, and this is the last of my collection. Keep in mind I have some that I didn't show you, but they're just other knives of the same models I have, just for users or in case you know, they go up in value someday. Anyways, the FH41, FH51, 61, and 71. This is a good series. They all are flipper knives and pretty decent. We're going to compare some G10 throughout this. I like the blue, and this one in my hand here, I've had longer than this other one, and I don't know. Yeah, the G10 appears to be a little different. I would say the pocket clips that came on them were different. And just take a peek though. This little thing looks smaller, but it stretches out there. It stretches out there. We're going to line those two up this way. And I just always thought this was a smaller knife. And it is. But boy, despite the fact if we go pivot to pivot here, the blade's about the same. You just lose this cutting edge there. Oh, I did my own acid wash on this one. This is my Frankenstein knife. And this one came green, and I wish now I would have gotten a blue one. But the G10 would be different. It's grippy. It's not smooth. But you have that move forward. I did a heavy acid wash and a stone wash on there and basically sharpened out my point. And I'm a little bit sorry about that, but not at the same time. But you can see the stone wash on there. We'll leave that, try to line it up. And then this one I'm getting used to. I'm in this pocketing it the last couple days. This is my latest, my newest C71, and you can see the G10 is even a little bit different. You see those swirls, and going back to some of that old style where they groove it, but these have nested liners. This is a nested liner. This is nested liners. So this one's nested, this one's nested. Again, we have videos out on all of them, but this one at the time of the release of this video. So there's a peek. That's the end. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For those of you stuck around, thank you, and see you on the next one.